This is the interior of the Hymer Starline B580. We have it's a fully integrated vehicle. So you've got this particular front it has to it. Fully integrated, semi-integrated is when they've got like the front belonging to the original car. So you may have something with Ford or a Fiat Ducato and or whatever. Fully integrated means that Hymer's done all the work to it. Well, it's done all the outer work to it. And so we have a dinette at the front. Obviously, chairs swivel round. Coming back, we have a kitchen which is close to the table. Now, the 3 burners, which is standard. But the advantage is clear, though. If you're cooking something, you can actually do work at the table. You can chop your stuff up or whatever, and move it here, which I think is rather convenient. Obviously, the table is a bit lower than you'd possibly want or used to at home for doing these things, but the table is designed for sitting at and not for working at the kitchen. But it's very convenient. Also, you've got the door here. Now, I personally like to have everything open when I'm cooking, and that's a feature. I don't know if they did it accidentally, it was just the way it happened, but it's good. Of course, many vehicles do have the kitchen in this position. We've got plenty of storage below and above. Now, coming further down, we have a very big fridge. Now, people who've seen my my commentaries on other cars and will know that I don't like big fridges. I am in a minority. I know I've talked to people, I've talked to dealers about this, and people do want big fridges. So I can't see the point of big fridges at all, but never mind. Then again, I don't like cold drinks. I like drinks to be at normal temperature. We have also a fridge here, a freezer I should say, and it's okay, it's what, it's actually about 18 litres I would say, a rough guess. I don't know, I'm just looking but I'm sure that's more than sufficient for most people. And of course, storage above the fridge and freezer. Now, let's have a look here in the toilet, if you can actually get round here. And we have a great deal of space in there for the toilet, the shower. You know, I know people don't have that much space at home, never mind anything else, and so that's pretty wonderful. Also, skylight, which I think is relatively standard with Hymer anyway, in the shower, so you've got plenty of light coming there. And if you want to shower with the skylight open, maybe when it's raining, save on water, you can do that as well. So now we've got this is a double bed, two bed version, two single bed version, which of course does also make a huge double bed should you so require. Now there are steps leading up, and steps leading up means to say that you've got a big garage. So you've got a choice, steps or garage, as you wish. Or you've got the choice of maybe no steps and a bit of acrobatics before going to sleep, which is also a good idea. There's a little bit of storage as well under here, and you can certainly get a lot in there. Also, the bed will pull out, as I said earlier, makes a double bed. And the steps, okay, well maybe the steps get in your way, but you can actually store things in them as well. Okay then, so we're now going to actually drive. Oh, one thing I will point out, above the bed you've got lighting here, and if this were me, I would be having this up, which is to make the bed, but I would actually stick it up here like that, and so I can sit up in bed. I've got a light there, and I can read, or I can watch the computer, as I often do, or whatever. And so it's a very nice sized vehicle. Now the problem though, having a big vehicle is it's difficult to drive, and so that is what I'm going to try now. Is it really difficult to drive? So Driving a vehicle of this size for me is a new experience, so really I can only share the comments with you. My comments with you are based on those of a person who has no experience. If you're an experienced person, then not going to be much good to you. Having said that, many people who are thinking of getting this type of vehicle will possibly be non-experienced people. Well, the first thing you can see when you actually sit in here, you've got this huge amount of space in front of you, and it looks a bit daunting. It looks as though it's getting on for a metre. But put it this way, my Mercedes 190, for example, which I drove for very many years, also has about a metre in front. In fact, it's possibly even slightly more. The difference is that the glass in this case is the very front, whereas normally you've got your motor, your engine, and then you've got your glass, which is and you're sitting directly behind the glass. This car has had its clutch ripped out. That's to say, it's an automatic. Now, obviously, driving an automatic in something this size may be a good idea if you're feeling a bit nervous about changing gears. On the other hand, you may feel that you'd much rather have a manual, because that's what you're used to. I'm used to a manual car. I like to feel as though I'm actually in control of the car. I'm driving the car, and not the car's driving me. So it does have a manual override in automatic mode, should you want to use that, if you don't like using the clutch or something of that nature. The size is powerful. It's like driving a lorry, but the one thing that's quite curious about it is the amount of revolutions you've got in front of you is not all that great. It's going in a very low amount of revs, and which is something I think it's going to make an effect on your fuel consumption, so it's going to improve it. Obviously we're looking at a very big vehicle here, but I think you're probably going to end up around 14, 15 litres to 100 kilometres with it. So I mean, there's some people with petrol-driven cars getting that. A friend of mine got an old Mercedes. He gets about 15. So and this is diesel, so it's going to work out cheaper. We've driven it around the streets a little bit, and with all the other cars, so there is a certain amount of trepidation on my part. Having said that, I found it very easy to drive, and also it's not as difficult as it looks. This is, I think, the most important thing. Having said that, before you spend well over 100,000 euros on a car, you might want to actually rent one when you're not actually paying for the insurance, and try it out with that first before taking the risk, because the parking is certainly going to be something which takes a little bit of practice. So we've got a nice quiet start, knock the gear into drive. As you can see from the lights, you've got by knocking it like that, it's going to put it into a manual mode, and by knocking it back, it's probably going to put it back into fully automatic. Though I think I've now just knocked it into, I'm going through the gears now, I'm in 5th gear, 6th gear, and I've knocked it back into drive. So I'm now in drive. And I'll set off, so we'll turn left here, put the Dusseldorf Radisson Hotel in front, which is suitably placed for the trade fair, should you be interested. Should we turn left here? Yeah. Turn left. So, no gears, so you don't have to worry about changing gear as you move.
To the right?
To the right. Now, unless you wanted to worry about changing gears, in which case you can get the manual version. I don't know what the case is with this car, but there are cars now, Mercedes, where the manual version is more expensive than the automatic version. So, you can hear it's not particularly loud, and we're in it now, what would be a relatively low gear. the noise which we're getting here is actually coming from the road. Driving on the tram lines now, as there's a lorry blocking the path. It's quite quiet. Standing at the light, so we'll knock it into neutral. I think that's what you're supposed to do. And back into drive, and we're off. I still haven't quite worked out the position I'm supposed to be in on the road, but I'm sure that comes with a very little practice. Again, somebody blocking the road. Oh, and somebody walking across the road. Oh, he's letting me past. As he should do. He was a pedestrian. So now I'm very easily got up to the maximum speed limit which is permitted in Germany, so we won't do any more than that, particularly as we saw the police were here earlier. Here in Dusseldorf, at the end of August, beginning of September, we've got the Caravan and Motorhome fair, and it's pretty wonderful. You can see all sorts of wonderful vehicles. As soon as I arrived here, I thought, I'm in motorhome heaven. In fact, I thought it was like I'd died and gone to heaven. In fact, the only thing it was really I needed was to meet some nice lady, and she's got a camper van and a dog. Hey, that would have made it perfect. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened so far, but it would seem to be the right place to actually meet someone. You've got a fantastic choice of vehicles to see. You see new stuff which has come out. You've got lots of new kits, and I know I'm going to be spending several €100 on new equipment, but if you're new to camper vanning, what I must tell you is don't go berserk buying things, because at the beginning everybody does it. They're going berserk buying lots and lots of things they think will be useful. Do it for a year and then find out what you need, because that's the way it really works. You probably don't need these expensive inverters for your changing 240 to 12 volts or 12 volts to 240, and lots of other things which you think are useful at the time. Now, if you end up with a vehicle like this, you must take it for a test drive, because who knows, you may not be able to drive it, and it may seem easy to drive, but reality is often different. In my case, this turned out to be much easier than I thought, I would recommend, though, renting one for a couple of weeks and trying them in non-test situations before doing anything else. So, it's a lovely summer's day here in Dusseldorf, and thanks for watching.